Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to our real estate market update Zoom call. We're excited to have you here. Drop into the chat. Let us know where you're from, where we seeing people from this evening. Let's see what we've got here. All right, Indiana, Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. Nice, Brody, Blake, Ronnie, Fenton, Michigan, Georgia, New Jersey, Utah, hometown. Iowa, Massachusetts. They're coming in from everywhere. See if we see our first international person drop in. Worldwide audience for Kris Krohn for sure. Welcome everyone. We're excited to have you here tonight. We're excited to kick off some market updates, some exciting things that are coming our way, both as a company and for you as our partners in crime, if you will, in real estate. We're going to go ahead and get started by introducing the one you're all here to see. Kris Krohn became financially free at the age of 26, but then came back to start working with people and helping other people find their way to fix society's broken game plan to find financial freedom and become, or unlock rather, the financial genius that's within. Keep dropping in the chat. We're going to be collecting questions to go over. Excited to be able to interact with you, but with no further ado, we'll bring up Kris and kick things off.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Dude, what is up, all my real estate ninjas? I got all my brothers and maybe a handful of sisters that are joining us here tonight. I just want to welcome you all. If you can hear my voice, just give me a double wave with your hands in the air. Good deal. Listen, I'm here in Idaho in my secret location. Up here in the mountains. You can see a little bit of the greenery out there and the lake in the backdrop. It's beautiful. We just got past some 90-degree weather, and it's today was a little chilly at like 75 degrees. The pool this afternoon was a little cold. Listen up. The reason why we are connecting here live tonight, yes, there'll be some Q&A later, but the real estate market, y'all aware, put your hand up if you know the real estate game has changed, if it has shifted and you're like, yes, I understand it. So today what I want to do is I want to give you some updates on what's happened in the market, and I want to give you some new tools and some new knowledge on how I'm winning bigger in the real estate game. And then we're going to do some open Q&A at the end. So, dude, that's what we're going to do. I just want to say hi. Glad to have you all here. And I just want to personally let you know that I acknowledge the responsibility that we have being in each other's life. Several of you here have done real estate deals, a ton of real estate deals. You've been making some great money. I got a ton of you here that you haven't cracked your first house yet. So I'm hoping that some of the things that we share will change that for you, because you deserve, especially in this economy, to have the kind of success that you're entitled to. So welcome. All right, I'm gonna put a little presentation here. First of all, I just want to acknowledge we've got Graham and Angie here in the room with me. These are my two top coaches. They are just real estate superstars. Love these two human beings, and they're a big part of my team and what we're doing here. So I want to thank them for being here tonight. They're going to help me with Ryan, do a little bit of moderating so we can get to all your questions. Listen, let me tell you what we're going to do. This is not going to be a very long meeting. I got some things to share before we get into Q&A, but I want to talk about the market. I want to talk about how you crush it in today's market. I want you to see some of the people that are just killing it right now, because some people are wondering, man, can you even win in the game of real estate with this kind of market and the prices jumping up? It's challenging, but the reward is so much bigger. It's 3 times bigger right now when you win. So we're going to talk about how to have triple success. We're going to talk about what kind of person you are, if you are succeeding or if you're not. And I'm going to bring a little psychology into some hacks that can help you. And then we're going to talk about some accountability games that we're going to be playing. We're going to do some live Q&A. And then also I'm going to release the dates. Yes, this freaking scamdemic is winding down. And in August, we are bringing back your 2 tickets to my 4-day event, life-changing event. I swear to you, by the end of day 1, you will raise your hand and jump it up and down in the air and say that event changed my life, because I've got some training, some deep training that I want to give you that will really help unlock your ability. So put your hands in the air if you hear me on the itinerary, and we're all in good form to keep moving forward. We all good? Cool. Awesome. All right. So I am going to share with you Unleash Your Financial Destiny. It is a 4-day business real estate training event. A lot of psychological training. It's unlocking your own limitations that keep you from rocking it in the real estate game. And dude, we get to acknowledge a ton of people that are out there doing deals and hustling right now. So we're going to talk more about that. But first, what has happened in this insane real estate market, and what does it mean for you? Well, First of all, there is a shortage of 4 million homes in the United States right now. And we have not historically ever recorded that many homes missing. The crash cannot happen. There will be a crash, and it will be an epic crash, but there will be no crash until we take care of those 4 million missing homes. And if we have record building for 5 years, we can't solve for those 4 million homes. And I want to break that down for just a second, because I want you to understand exactly what I mean by that. I tracked 2008 crisis. You guys remember the global financial crisis, 2008? Remember at least hearing about it? Some of you are too young. That's so crazy. 2008 was when I got my real start in real estate. I'm like, I'm gonna freaking take advantage of this, and I did. I mean, I did $100 million in profits in the first 5 years after the crisis. But everyone was jetting out of real estate. No one wanted to play. I started tracking inventory. And after the global financial crisis, we were missing 5 years after no building, 500,000 homes, 500,000. And then next year, they didn't build fast enough. And then we were missing 600,000, and then 700,000, and then 1 million. And instead of catching up, it's actually gone quite the opposite. It got to the point where pre-pandemic, we were missing 2.2 million homes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's going to be no crash in sight. But since the pandemic, it's worser because by the way, that's a made-up word, but I use made-up words because I don't care. Things have gotten worser because now that we've had this pandemic, people are saying, I want to work from home. So there's even that we've nearly doubled the demand that people are having for real estate. And so if you're like, Kris, why are these prices? Raise your hand if real estate prices in your areas have gone up a lot. Raise your hand. That's not going to stop. That's going to keep going up. And people are like, man, should I just wait for the correction? If you do, you're going to be likely waiting 7 to 10 years. So that would be a huge mistake. You got to learn. And so I want to take some time to get you some tools so that you can crush it and play it in this market. All right, back to my screen here. A lot of people want to know when the next crash is going to be, and rest assured the crash will occur. By the way, when it does, it's going to be one of the most epic plays in real estate. So think of it kind of this way for just a moment. And I want you to get this. You've got an opportunity right now to see real estate go through the highest appreciation that we will probably see in a century. Like this is the decade. This is like 1922 pre-Black Friday, flappers, all sorts of craziness. You're going to see over the next 5 years the wildest appreciation because right now we've got hyperinflation. Raise your hand if you watch my videos on inflation and you kind of have an idea what I'm talking about. It's like, why are the cost of goods skyrocketing? Why is real estate skyrocketing? And right now it is downright because of hyperinflation, because the government can't print $6 trillion freaking dollars without it screwing things up, which is exactly what it's doing right now. But inflation, as bad as it is amazingly good for real estate investors because you get to ride those property values. But when the bubble hits and it breaks, guess what will happen? The market will smash down in a matter of days, and then you'll have your second opportunity to cash in on the very best deals. So I want to be clear, in this decade, you look at how old you are right now and ask yourself how old you'll be in the next 10 years. I'm 41. In a decade, I'll be 51. If you are 25, in a decade, you'll be 35. In this 10-year span, you will have the two best opportunities likely in your entire life to be investing in real estate. One, to rise the biggest, literally the government jacked things up in the pandemic so perfectly, you're going to see the biggest appreciation of your lifetime. And then the market will crash and you'll see literally some of the lowest prices. And then you're going to ride the game 2 times. So put up your fingers. How many times in the next decade are you going to ride this wave? Everyone show me 2 fingers. Peace. Exactly. So that, like right now, I just want to be clear. We are sitting in one of the very best timeframes for you to be in the game of real estate. So even though, you got CNN, you got Zillow, you got all sorts of people, Bloomberg coming on, and they're basically saying, yep, the real estate market's going to go up again and again and again, and it's projected to keep on rising. Now, I just want to remind you something that you probably know. Like traditional investments, see that red number on the screen? Raise your hand if you can see that red number. Okay. That's 6%. That's 401k land. That's IRA land. That's stock market. That's things like that. Wow. 16,000 raised hands. Thank you. That's crazy reporting. So you've got most people earning 6%, and that's called get out of town, go nowhere. Your life's going to financially suck 3 decades from now. But if you compare that to game of real estate, when you're compounding at 25%, what does that equate to? Well, that green graph looks like it's a lot bigger than the red one. It's actually 27 times more money over 20 years. And This is the part that I need you to get right now. Real estate is hotter now. When I say it's 27-1, I promise you that we are on track to double and potentially even triple that number. It's like a 50-1 worst case scenario with what's happening in the market. Because guys, I'm buying homes almost every single day. I'm just telling you, this is the state of it. So where you're out there, my Maverick program, raise your hand if you're one of my Maverick ninjas. My Mavericks, who are my Mavericks out there? What about Lease Option Pro? How many of you are out there hustling it, doing seller finance deals? Sweet. Okay. By the way, raise your hand. Do I have any partners out there that are actually putting up some money doing deals with me in these markets? We got a couple of you. So you need to understand that in this real estate market, if you listen to the media and if you listen to realtors and if you listen to talk of the town, they're going to say prices are only going up. It's too hard to get your hands on a deal. And I promise you, it's all BS. It's all bull crap. And it's all designed to make room. You know how I got financially free in the first place? I ignored my parents. I ignored my siblings, and I ignored my best friends. I ignored everyone that doubted me. And because the population says it can't be done, there's always 1 or 2% of the people that are proving that it can, because everyone's looking in the wrong direction. Raise your hand if you get what I'm talking about right now. This economy, if you do a deal, plan on earning double or triple the kind of money that you would be otherwise. So that's the good news, but the market's got to get played a little bit differently. I'm going to take you through that here. Okay, here's what I want you to understand. I'm buying as much real estate as I can in today's market. And if you got your chance to get in on the right deal where the numbers add up, you want to execute and you want to buy that. It'll be the best financial decision that you can make. Now, there are 3 ways to crush it in today's economy. And I want you to take notes on this. The first one is you have to make more offers. If you were looking at my buddy, Brian, who's in this crowd here, Brian, literally, I told him, I said, you got to look at 100 deals to make a seller finance deal goes. And so he didn't get discouraged on the 5th deal that he got a rejection on. He didn't get discouraged on the 10th. On the 18th deal, the deal went down. He made 15 grand. He's like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. On the second go around, he's like, well, let's start over. Look at 100 deals. And then guess what? It was like a couple houses later, he made $65,000. He was going to do a hold, but he ended up flipping it because the numbers were just way too juicy. And now Brian in 2 years is like up to over 20 deals. And that's because he understands it's a numbers game. So the first thing I want you to write down is you have to make more offers. You have to look at more deals, and it looks like more legwork. But if you had to look at 3 times as many homes to make 3 times as many profits, it's 6s, my friend. It's just get out there and kill it in real estate. Number 2, you've got to be looking for pre-market listings. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And lastly, work with top facilitators. Work with the people that are crushing it in the game. Now, here's what I mean by pre-market listing. Raise your hand if you don't know what I mean by a pre-market listing. Got it. Thank you. Every single property that is on the multiple listing service before it was listed was a pre-market deal. So every house at one point is pre-market. And the question is whether you can get your hands on it. So how do you do this? You go to your local RIAs, the real estate investment groups in your hometown, and you start networking with realtors, and you start finding out which realtors represent investment deals. And you just keep in text communication with these dudes. You hang out and you get in with your ear to the ground. It's like, hey, any deals, anything coming up? And you're going to hear things like, oh, well, there's this house. They're not going to list it for 3 more days. And you're thinking, hey, would you mind if I maybe come by and check it out? That's a pre-market deal. You want to get your hands on pre-market deal. And all you got to do is ask around, do you got any deals? Because every house is listed on the MLS. Now, by the way, you should be hitting up and knocking down every for sale by owner. By the way, why would someone go for sale by owner in a market like this? Dude, they don't want to pay 6% realtor fees. They're hoping that they can get out of that. And by hoping to get out of that means they're afraid of something. And that's also a doorway opening for you. So you're looking for, raise your hand if it makes sense to go network, put your ear to the ground, get out there and just tell people, I'm looking for a deal. I'm looking for a deal. You're looking for sale by owner, and you're looking for houses that haven't been listed yet. That's really important. Then that third advice that I gave you is that you definitely want to make sure that you work with facilitators. Please be aware that I'm buying homes on literally almost every day. And I'm doing that with my entire team. So if you're hanging on to 401k, an IRA, equity in a home, if you own a home right now and you've got equity, if a parent has equity, if someone else has money and they're complaining they can't get in the market, couple of things, especially from my Mavericks, that I want you to be aware of right now, guys. You're going to be rewarded for helping solve problems. And do you know how many people are pissed at the real estate market right now? Right now, if you know that there's a lot of anxiety in the market because people can't get their hands on stuff, raise your hand if you know this. Here's what you want to do. You want to become the communicator of this one message, which is, I got access to deals, but you got to focus on investing right now and not just buying a house for yourself. And that's the simple conversation. We've done some trainings in the past with Ryan Rice, showing people how to use LinkedIn, right? Raise your hand if you're aware of that training, the LinkedIn training for the Mavericks out there. It's crazy training on here's how you go out. The message that you need to hit is, I got inventory. If you've got dough, if you've got money, we can make deals happen. And for my Mavericks that are in that program, you know that you can bring those people in the back door. If we onboard them as one of my partners, I share all the profits equally with you. That's how a lot of people are winning. So that's an example of facilitation. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense, what I've just shared with you, right? Make more offers, look at more deals, find pre-market deals. And then number 3, super important, is know that the conversation is a bunch of pissed off people in real estate land because they can't get a house. And you let them know, listen, the moment you look for investments, I've got deals with 25, 35, 50% annual ROI. You send those our way. Now all of a sudden you're buying real estate. So we'll give you some examples of that. All right. Hopefully that's helpful, because that's just a huge part of what I want to do tonight. Is I just want to make you aware. You guys know that 90% of all millionaires, they did it in real estate. And the best time to do it is when it looks the hardest. And right now it only looks the hardest. I'm working harder, but I'm doing more deals than I've ever done before. Now, you're aware, most of you here are aware, you're either leveraging right now, number 1, my lease option program, which is all about creative financing, seller financing. Number 2, you're leveraging creative real estate, like my Maverick program. Or number 3, you're one of my partners, and we're actually out there just doing deals with some of your hard-earned saved cash or somebody else's cash. Those are the 3 only ways that, frankly, I'm doing real estate in this market right now. So you have one of these shortcuts right now. I wanted to hop on. I want to ask this question. If you haven't, for those of you that haven't done a deal yet, what is holding you back right now? And I want you to drop that in the chat. I want you to light the chat up with, if you haven't done a deal, you're putting your hands on your keyboard and connect with me for a moment. I know we'll do more when we get to Q&A, but I just want to know, what is your number 1 for why you haven't done a deal yet? What is the reason that you go to that's holding you back? In a moment, I want to bring one of you on and actually have a conversation, because I want to show you something. So let's just, I'm going to stop this share for a second, and let me just see what we're getting under the comments. Oh, there's a lot of chat. No credit, fear, money, connecting with investors, can't find properties available, scared I don't know what to do, no debt, lack of money, haven't taken the time, found a deal. Hey, please keep Ryan Holyoke muted, guys. Thank you. Don't know where to start. I'm still learning. Made an offer yesterday. I got a backup offer from someone who beat me to it. Nice. Super heart map, home price your area, 1.4 million, hard to find deals. Awesome. So right now, a lot of what I'm hearing, guys, is number 1, I don't have the money. If you're in any one of my programs, it's not a money game. You guys know that. Like, there's a way around that. And if you've got some questions on there, by the end of this, I'm going to give you some extra tools and resources. Credit should definitely not be a thing. The one thing that could be here that has some legitimacy is it's hard to find deals because you have to look at more deals. But I'm just going to tell you, when I look, I find. And if you don't look, you're not going to find. So you got to be out there searching and connecting with people. And I'd have a goal every day. It's like every day I open up 3 simple outlets to say I'm searching for a deal. So you might call 3 realtors and just say, hey, if you find anything, especially before it hits the market, here's my criteria. Or you might say, I'm going to look for 3 for sale by owners that just hit the market, right? Or you might say, I'm going to drive around in my car and just see if anything, literally, if a sign popped up on the front of the building. I would invite you to take 3 small, simple actions a day just to put yourself out there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, we got a lot of BS in here. We got a lot of reasons that typical people don't invest in, and we got to make sure. Listen, give me a thumbs up if you're okay if we overcome some of these things because you want to win and you want to play the game. I mean, that's why you're here tonight, and that's super important for me that we share that experience because I'm going to be seeing you in August. Like in August, come spend 4 days with me, and we're going to get under this hood. And yes, there will be intense real estate training, but I'm going to show you the mindset of a multimillionaire. And right now, guys, I'm in the process of literally building my $1 billion company. Real estate is a huge part of that. And I want you to have a chance to learn from what I'll call a pre-billionaire. I'm going to show you the mindset and all the millions I've spent on coaches to get me to where I'm at so that you can have a life-changing experience to just unlock you to be a beast. By the way, I'm just going to scroll through these pages real quick, but do me a favor, put your hand up if you want to connect with me live for 4 days to get some crazy life-changing training. Who's up for that? Keep your hand up. I'm just scrolling through these pages. I want to see all my friends. I see Michael. I see Paul. I see Ann, Gabrielle. Awesome, dude. I love it. So listen, this pandemic thing is like coming to an end, and Utah doesn't have a mask mandate anymore. We get to actually connect live with each other, and we'll keep everyone safe. It'll be great. But dude, it's time for that action to go down. So what I want to do here is I want one of you to raise your hand. If you want to share, what really for you has been holding you back and why, and you do that in the bottom corner there. There's under your participation, something instructions, more there. There's an opportunity for you to raise a hand. Raise a hand. I'm going to have my team pick one of you. Would love to actually connect with you for a second and share that experience with you. All right, Josh, who do we got?
We've got Brody.
What's up, Brody?
How you doing, Chris?
Stop.
You guys hear me?
Brody, how we doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
You're doing super well, dude. Talk to me. What, for you, first of all, how long you've been in this real estate program with me?
So your first like online interactive thing, I signed up for that, and then I bought the coaching, and then just became a deal maker like probably like a week or two ago.
All right.
And so here's my biggest question. I've been driving around and I wrote some stuff down here. I found a for sale by owner place.
Yes.
And it's a 4-bedroom, like beautiful house. And I mean, that was the first for sale by owner I saw, and I wrote it down. I'm very early, have not made a deal yet. But so I found this place, and I'm kind of prepping myself to make the call to sandwich lease their place. But yes. I want to know, why would they allow me to sandwich lease their place when they're trying to sell it? And how do I go about presenting this option to them? Good
question, Brody. Right. First of all, good job being a deal maker. How many days ago was it that you found the house?
About 6.
Awesome.
5, 6.
So I want this to be a beautiful opportunity for you. And I want everyone to take some notes on this. If 6 days ago you found a for sale by owner in today's market, when do you want to have knocked on that door or called that phone number?
6 days ago.
6 days ago. That's my man. And of course, dude, I'm going to tell you, man, when I literally became a deal maker and I was ready to do my first deal, I passed the for sale by owner. I felt inspired to drive home a weird way. I see the for sale by owner sign, and literally I check traffic and I do a U-turn. I pull over my 1993 red Honda Civic with my 250,000 mile broken spoiler, pull over the side of the road, and all of a sudden I'm getting out and I'm freaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to knock on the door. You idiot, get back in the car. Talk to your mentor, phone a friend, don't do it. And I get out of my car, I lift up the hatchback. I'm like, oh, I got to do something to look more official because I can't even grow. Don't even look like I've been through puberty. I couldn't grow a beard or anything as a 22-year-old. I think I look 13. Some of you here look 13. I pop open my hatchback. I look for like pen and paper, some notes, something to make me look official. And I couldn't really find anything. And then I go knock on the door and I literally have nothing, Brody, in my mind. I don't know what I'm going to do. And watch the stupidity that happened. I knock on the door. This grouchy old woman opens the door. She says, what do you want? And I'm like, and now her house said for sale by owner, and she had a price. And I gave her an offer 10 grand below. That was the first thing out of my mouth. It wasn't, hey, how are you? I see your house for sale. Tell me about you. Can I look at the house? I did not know what I was doing. So you know what I said? I said, I'd like to offer you. And then I told her the amount. She looked at me and she said no. And she slammed the door in my face. And it wasn't that unreasonable an offer. But the thing is that I was a total idiot because I had no idea what I was doing. But the one thing I did right is I took action, and I still managed to actually make the deal work, get it under contract, even though I was messing up. Waiting 6 days in this economy means that you don't have a chance to screw up. Waiting 6 days. And so I'm just going to tell you that part of learning how to do real estate is it'd be awesome if I was there at your side and you had all the prearranged answers. But I'm going to give you a solution tonight on how you could have had faster help. I just want you to be aware that the next time you find that deal, and what I want you to do literally tomorrow morning is I want you to call, or even tonight, I want you to call and just do this. I see your house is for sale. Tell me about it. Yes, I'm looking at purchasing your house. Tell me about the house. Tell me its square footage. Tell me its history. How long have you lived there? Why are you doing a first sale by owner? Literally just keep asking questions. They don't know you're stalling. You got to get this information anyway. But what you're going to do is build rapport. Don't do what I did, which was just go right to the numbers. Say, tell me about you. Tell me about your situation. Oh, you guys are moving. Why don't you have a realtor? Why are you going to for sale by owner? Why is that important to you? I'm telling you, for sale by owner almost always means this. I don't trust the system. And if they don't trust the system, here's what you might find. You could launch into something after you've gotten to know each other and you're feeling comfortable. And you might say, hey, well, it looks like you have this house for sale and it looks like you think you need to sell it because you're moving. What if I was able to buy this home? And what if I could actually manage it for you? Because that's what I do. Get it rented out, produce positive cash flow, share some of that with you. I'm sure you believe as well as I do that the market's going to keep going up in value. Why not keep getting the tax benefits? Why not keep getting some of the positive cash flow? And I'll take it off your hands and take care of it. We'll partner up on it. All of a sudden, that person might be saying, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been looking for. They might like metaphorically slap you and call you dumb and young, but listen, worse things have happened. The most important thing is literally to allow yourself to screw the deal up. And because the courage I find is something that will reward you. Everyone raise your hand if you understand what I mean, that courage gets rewarded. Courage is more important than what you know. Now, by the way, you could have also gone into the Facebook group and connected with the team and been like, hey, what should I do? What should I do? Maybe you've already done that. But guys, when you find a deal, make sure you're taking some immediate action on it. Raise your hand if you can do that. If you find a deal that you're going to do something that day with it, don't wait. Something that day, don't wait. Cool. Awesome. By the way, Brody, was that helpful?
Yeah, big time.
Awesome. Hey, listen, you going to make a phone call tonight?
Yeah, literally right after this call. I just wrote down pretty much everything you said right there. So,
and by the way, do you feel as nervous now, or do you feel a little bit more equipped?
Yeah, no, definitely more equipped. You're supplying the tools. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for everyone listening, it's okay to not know your next step. The most important thing is to take a step, which means call them, ask questions. And then if you don't know what to do, say, thank you for the information. I'll be back in touch with you. And then you hang up and be like, I got to go get some advice. And then you call them up 5 minutes later. Okay, I know what to say next. Right? Like that's the energy. That's the momentum that is definitely, Brody, going to reward you and every one of you listening here, which is you thrust yourself into the game.
Learn as you go.
Absolutely. That is a big part of it because you've received instruction, man. Now it's time to just start acting on it, and don't be afraid to mess it up because no is not the worst thing that can happen. I promise you. Listen, guys, I've got people killing it in the market. And I know some of you are, I've seen some of the messages where you're like, does this even work in this economy? Let me just show you a couple of things. There's Noelia, and I've been keeping track of her and her husband for the last, I think 6-7 months. They bought 6 houses, 0 cash out of pocket. Literally all 6 of these seller finance deals. Yes, in this pandemic market with house prices going up, they're being massively rewarded by having ownership in 6 properties without having a bank involved, without being out of pocket. And now listen, if each of those homes have gone up, let's just call it 30 grand, you do the math. What's 6 times 30 grand? There might be literally 150,000 or more dollars that have just happened from them taking some initiative. Daniel and Eric, dude, these are two studs in our program. I don't know if they're here tonight. They might be. There's so many of you on, but literally they're in my Lease Option Pro system. They've done 3 deals, and these dudes, they have rocked out $2,500 a month in cash flow. Which, if you just think about that for a second, I mean, can everyone give a round of applause for that? Like, that's pretty hot right there. We've got Ryan Rice, guys. He's one of my Mavericks. This guy is an engineer. He is not a salesman, does not really, but talking to people is now something he's starting to get good at, because in the last 8 months, he's brought on 8 partners. I think he's up to like 16 or 20 homes since I last checked with him. Guys, he's not coming out of pocket on any of this. He literally is just leveraging LinkedIn to start up conversations and find people that might be interested in real estate, introduces them to my company. They partner with me. And the dude gets half of the profit. I'm doing all the work. Like, that's pretty smart. Like, if you think about that, raise your hand if you think that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart. He's killing it right now. Super awesome. And if you guys keep up on the Facebook page, just check out Christian Butters. He shares the deal that he did. Kinsey shares her first property. Look at just some of these cool stories here. David Boom just signed my lease option with the Neat family in Arizona. Eric Jacob just closed on property number 2. So grateful for UFD event 1.5 years ago. By the way, you're going to see this theme. When people hang with me during that 4-day event, they do deals after they start businesses. They experience financial growth. This is Ryan Young, house number 2 complete, on to number 3. So I just want you to get real for a moment and just ask, are you doing deals, or are you not doing deals? And if it's not happening, I just want you to ask why. And I want to share a few more things. Then we're going to jump into Q&A. You're either the type of person who can make a plan and stick with it, or you're not. And that is such loser looking language, but I promise you, like, I don't quite mean it by that. What I really mean is, are you the kind of person that says, I do better with accountability or without? Like, for example, a handful of people out there are self-starters. They're like, I don't need anything. I just set my schedule and I go, go, go. Raise your hand if you're one of my self-starters out there that you just know how to make stuff happen, right? Yeah, dude. So we got some hands out there. How many of you, though, know that if you have a coach with instruction and accountability and step-by-step, that you do your homework and you show up and then things go way better? Raise your hand if you're more of an accountability player. Yeah, there's a ton of hands. So allow me to just share a couple of things with you that I want you to be aware of right now that are new, that weren't there before. You see, the accountability model, this revolves around the idea of someone really holding your hand. And in my world, I guess, if you had to guess whether I'm on the accountability side or the self-starter side, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a huge self-starter, but I put accountability and coaches into every aspect of my life. And I think it's just important to be aware of who you are, because if you're not partnered with me and you're doing a digital-based program, you better be a self-starter. If not, you need to get some accountability in there. And I'll share with you some models. Just wanted to share, though, in my life, I've had over 30 different mentors. I have 4 mentors right now. Those mentors are literally collectively right now being paid over $1 million to hold me accountable, to learn how to do things that I don't know how to do. And it's amazing. With accountability, I crush it. And without it, like, things just take longer to get done. So what I've been able to do in my health and my body and my marriage, just about every part of my life that's leveled up, is because I have a coach that holds me accountable. Just raise your hand for a second if you have had coaches in your life and the accountability kept you on the straight and narrow. Raise your hand. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Like, it makes a world of a difference. So here's what a good coach does. This is worth taking notes on. I have 3 rules for someone to qualify as a coach. Number 1, they have to know the shortcut. They have to hold me accountable. And they know, this is the most important one that people miss. They have to be able to react to and solve any problem that I have. Because if they know the shortcut and they give me a plan and then they're holding me accountable, the plan is going to break. And when it does, I've got to be able to go right to them and say, this is the problem showing up for me. What should I do? Raise your hand if you can see that basic 3-step model working, right? They know the shortcut and they're available. You got a question, they need to be available. I want to ask you a question. If you had a house, Brody, or anyone else that you were looking at, or if you were in negotiation or you didn't know what to say, if you had a chance to actually call in at any point in my organization and say, walk me through this, raise your hand if that would be a game changer for you. Raise your hand if that'd be a game changer. Because you've got the Facebook page, you've got that help to some extent. I'm seeing a lot of hands there. Let me just show you something a little bit cool that we have never launched before that I'm super pumped about. I've decided to take my top coaches and the rest of my team that literally are helping me manage my own real estate portfolio. And we decided to launch a real estate coaching hotline, like as in 9 to 5, when the team is there, they're taking the calls and they're spending unlimited amounts of time, whatever it takes to actually help you do deals. This is new. And before we go into Q&A, I just want to show you what this looks like, because for some of you that need that accountability, this might be a game changer. Hands down, my most successful students, they have asked for this, they've gotten this. And because of that, we decided to we've done some tests and now we're actually launching it. And every time, like, you can literally call as much as you want. You can talk to Angie, you can talk to Graham and Ryan and Derek and the people on my team. And every time they talk to you, 3 things happen. Number 1, they want to see exactly where you're at. They give you accountability, and then they answer your questions and give you the guidance so that you keep moving forward instead of getting stuck. And most of you that could literally be making 50 grand, 100 grand, or $1 million, it's only a couple of little things generally that are holding you back. So what I've decided to do is I've got a whole year worth of that coaching that I am making available. And 1 year access for all of that coaching. If you guys want that, it's literally unlimited. Speak with and work with the team. There's no limit to it. And it's $997. And some of you here in this program might say, hey, Kris, if you're offering me coaching and an accountability component, I'm sure as heck going to double down. I need this help, and I would abuse your hotline. I'm going to freaking cost you $1 million. I'm going to use that thing so bad so I can do a whole ton of deals here. And if that's interesting to you, there's a link that my team is putting right now in the chat. I also have a phone number that you might want to scratch down, 801-894-9416 if you have any questions. But basically, it's an entire year of unlimited coaching. Now, my team's not going to answer your call at 2 a.m. And if you call after hours, you leave a voicemail and they call you first thing in the morning. And so, and then there's a cool bonus I'll give you in a second. But this is the second thing I want you to write down. This is super important. Every single one of you that is here with me right now has 2 tickets. These are $2,000 tickets a piece to a 4-day life-changing event at my convention center in my house. You got 2 tickets to it. It's official, guys. We literally are just releasing this. You're going to see the first emails tomorrow, August 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 4 days. Those 4 days, you get to freaking get live with me. And I promise you the show of your life that will give you life-changing financial information so that you're going to go out there and freaking crush it and do crazy, crazy deals. In fact, do me a favor, just show by raise of hands again. If this is an event that you know you need to get to, raise your hand. I've got some good news and bad news on this one. We're going to have to make sure your cameras are on, guys. I'm just scrolling through. I want to see your pretty faces. Perfect. Thank you. Here's something I want you to know. That's right, Julio. I see you. One of the things that you want to be aware is that my event space is for 600 max people. And because this is the first event we've had in over a year, it's going to basically fill up really fast. You don't have to buy tickets, guys. You already have your tickets. You already bought them. They were bonuses gifted from me to you because I know that you're going to do more deals after we do that training. So August 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, book it on your calendar. And all you got to do is actually get registered so that we know that you're coming, so I can give you one of those precious seats. So this is the other thing my team's doing. For the first 50 of you that want that hotline for the next year to have unlimited coaching, 2 things will happen. One is the first 50 people, I'm going to give you a $600 VIP upgrade so that you are front row, shirt, swag, all the gear, bonus sessions with me, lunch provided during the entire event. That's for the first 50 people that say they want that hotline. We're just going to give you an automatic VIP upgrade to the actual event. So it looks like this. You've got the VIP experience that we're going to be giving you. It's $997 instead of $4,000 for a year of the entire coaching hotline. And then you just got to do me a favor. If you drop that link and pay $1,000, I need you to commit that you are going to abuse my coaches. You are going to abuse that phone number. You're going to put it on speed dial And the moment there's a reason why you're not doing something, acting on that house, putting an offer out, I can't find a deal, it's too hard. Where's the money? You're calling up and my team is giving you the step-by-step plan on exactly what you need. If you do this, I need you to commit. In fact, I want to see you raise your hand right now. Commit that you're going to use my team and you're going to abuse my team, because that is why they are here. There's no such thing as a dumb question. There's certainly no such thing as I called too many times, because for me, it's whatever it takes. And so some of you want to go to the next level. This is a way for you to absolutely do that and completely change your experience. Now, in a moment, we're going to do some Q&A, but I just leave that up on the screen for a second so that you guys are aware that that right now, if you guys wanted to say, hey, what if I just wanted 90 days of coaching with Angie or Graham, you would pay $3,000 for that. If you said, I want 6 months of coaching, you would pay $5,000 for that. Or you can pay $997 and get all the coaching you want for an entire year. So anyway, if that's what you've been looking for, if that'll make the difference, please, 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 I need you to be doing deals. And if this is what's been holding you back for the last 2 years, everyone says, I need a hotline, I need a coach, I need a hotline, I need a coach. And I apologize, it's late, but it's finally here. And just know that the first 50 people, I'm giving them free VIP so that when we meet, we get to share front row experience, 2 bonus trainings, meals together, all 4 of those days, a whole bunch of cool swag, and we're going to have a dope experience together. All right, let me just see if there's anything else here, guys, and then we're going to launch. And then make sure you've written down those dates, August 25th to the 28th. I don't care what your calendar says. I don't care what your schedule says. I don't care what your boss says. You get to this event because you're going to leave that event and the remainder of the year is not going to look anything like it before. It's going to be awesome. If we sell out and we can't give you a seat to that event, we will have another one next year. But if I were you and you've been stuck, don't wait. By the way, if you're doing deals, you'll definitely want to come because I'm going to acknowledge you on stage. I've got some cool swag for you and some sweet acknowledgments for how you've been crushing it. So it's going to be a win-win either way. All right. So with that being said, let's pause this for a second. And what I want to do is I want to go into some Q&A. What I want you to do is start lighting up the chat with the questions that you have. And then team, for those of you that are like, I definitely need an unlimited coach in my life this year so that I can crack my first few deals, then my team's putting a link for you to be able to click that and get that. And just know that the first 50 people, you're going to get like a sweet upgraded VIP experience. We put a lot of money into that VIP experience being super dope. There's also a pre-party the night before when you get in so that we get to connect. It's pretty awesome. All right. Dude, let's light it up. If you have questions, this is the open Q&A period. So I want you to start lighting it up and let's bring you on and connect and use this time to help you guys just rock out your real estate.
Okay, let's bring up some guests. Kris, do you want to be able to? Do you want me to shout these out for you, or do you want to bring people up? Do we have the ability to?
Yeah, what I would do is let's do this. Let's have, maybe Josh can help. Let's have everyone put their hands down. There's hands that are raised. Let's put all the hands down, and let's re-raise hands with anybody that says I want to come on, and then go ahead and select people, unmute them, and let's do some rocking Q&A. While we're doing that, let's just go to some of the questions that we're seeing here in the chat on the side.
All right, let's get ready to pull up. Let's see here. We've got James Solis. Let's pull up James.
James, go ahead and unmute yourself, brother.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yo, sure can.
Okay, hi, how you guys doing?
Hey, James, how's it going?
Okay, so my question is, I'm a part of the Maverick program, but see, as you guys can probably tell, I'm 19. And I remember our last Zoom call, you were saying that if I wanted to recommend someone to you, that they would have to have at least $50,000 to invest with. And it's like, I don't know a lot of 19-year-olds or, people that are my age that just got $50,000 just laying around. So
yeah,
how
James,
would I
great
find
question.
someone? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you was 30 or 40, I would say you should talk to your friends. But when you're 19, guess who you know? You know friends' parents. So the LinkedIn training is with Ryan Rice. Can I ask, have you watched that one just yet? Have you been doing your 20 minutes of LinkedIn a day?
I'm be honest, I haven't been doing the 20 minutes like I should, but I'll definitely do more.
All right, no shooting on me, James. This is what you're going to do. I'm telling you right now, for the next 90 days, you give 15 to 20 minutes to that simple, stupid strategy, and it's going to introduce you to 30, 40, 50, and 60-year-olds. Follow the stupid system of cut and paste. My 14-year-old daughter does it, and you're going to find a partner, and you're just going to, because all you're doing is connecting, finding people are like, yeah, dope, awesome, real estate, I want to do that. Go talk to these people. And all of that means that, because dude, James, you know what I want for a 19-year-old? I want you and I to own 5 homes this next year. And it takes one or two introductions to make that happen, man. It takes 1 or 2, but no shooting on me. You got to follow that system.
I got you. I promise. I got you.
Awesome, James. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. And I want to see you in person at my August event. I want to connect.
I would definitely. I already let my girlfriend, she's coming with me. I said, I'm so pumped, so excited. I'm a huge fan of yours, man. Definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
You know, I'm just gonna tell you something, that part of that 4-day experience is about me retraining the mind, because our minds aren't programmed for wealth. They're programmed for fear. They're programmed for scarcity. They're programmed for security. They're programmed for basic needs. But if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be a multimillionaire, if you want to be a billionaire, it takes a different kind of training. And that training is not found anywhere. It's very, very difficult to get your hands on. You got to find a mentor that has it, that's willing to give it to you. I promise you, man, I'm going to drop that hardcore on you during those 4 days. And that's going to be an awesome experience together.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, you're very welcome, James. Awesome, buddy. All right. Let's see who else we have.
Okay, next up, we're going to bring on, I lost my list, John Sanders. We're going to bring up John Sanders next.
John, are you there?
Hi.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up?
Awesome, man. Dude, what's your question?
So my question is, because I've been doing a lot of your videos and training and stuff and learning about how to do real estate. I was just wondering, like, because where I work, I see a lot of like houses that look like they're for sale and stuff. I just, like, how am I supposed to get started? Like what are my first steps to actually do so I can get started?
Awesome. So first of all, are you in the lease option program or the Maverick program?
Lease option.
Yeah. So the lease option program is very much, and I'm assuming you've been through all the video training first. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. So the first thing to do is just familiarize yourself with these houses that are for sale. Every one of you should just, real estate feels foreign at first. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Like, it just feels like a little bit of a different planet, right? And so what it does is it creates this fear of the unknown. What you should do is you should literally call up every house for sale and just practice talking to someone and saying, hey, I'm interested in the house. Can you tell me about it? Hey, can you tell me the square feet, the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms? You know, what's the list price? Why is it listed at that price? You know, what makes this house special or unique? And all you want to do, John, is get comfortable just talking. And it's amazing how many deals I found just because I was talking to a human being. And then all of a sudden they said something like, well, my parents just died and this is happening, and I don't know if I should sell it. In fact, I don't want to sell the house, but I feel like I have to, and I just don't know what to do. And all of a sudden you're like, well, what if you could move on with your life, but I could help take care of that house, and we could do, like, that's what I do. Like, you're looking for people, John, that have problems, and how do you find those people is just by talking. And so that's the first thing I would start with, really, is, and then the other thing is I would just do a couple of simple calculations. Price per square foot. Well, there's a 2,500 square foot house for sale for $250,000. That's $100 a foot. Oh, here's a house that's 3,000 square feet and it's at 300 a foot. Oh, this one's at, and you're looking for anomalies. You're looking to say, this house doesn't smell like all the other houses. Something's weird. Something's wrong. Because I want you to all understand why we make money in real estate. Everyone else in the world says, you're crazy. You can't get a good deal. And I'm just telling you right now that there's 5% of all real estate that is being listed because there's a really big problem. And if you talk to humans and you start figuring out what that problem is, then you have a chance to become the solution. And really what we get paid for is providing solutions for people that they can't on their own. Does that make sense, John?
Yes, Kris. Just one more thing though. So say I'm talking to somebody, how should I go about like explaining how to actually get the house off of them, or maybe partnering with somebody because like I don't have money for it? Or how would you do that exactly? Like talk to them about that.
Yeah, absolutely, John. So what you're really doing is talking about the language of seller financing, which means that after you've gotten some information on the house, you've identified there's a problem. Here's kind of the language around solution. It's like, well, it looks like you're in a situation where you need out of this house or you need to move on from this house. And yet you probably are clear that this market is going up in value. And if you were an expert at knowing how to rent this house, because that's what I am, I'm an expert in something called a lease option. We could structure a deal where I could partner up with you on this house and I could take care of it. I could help it cash flow. I could help it make money, and then it solves some of your problems. And John, the problem might be, I need to move, or it could be, I don't want to sell, or I want to sell, but I don't know how, or I want to sell, but only at this price. And so once you find out that there is a problem, what you're really doing is just saying, hey, I can help solve that for you. And I promise you that when you give them that option, you're the only person that has ever shared that idea with them. As stupid as that sounds, the likelihood of anyone else offering to solve their problem by partnering up with them on it, that's just not happening in the marketplace. And so you might have someone selling it. Here's a realistic scenario. They lost their job or they're moving, and now they'd like to keep the home, but financially they don't know how to. And you let them know, I can handle that for you. I can help you with that house. I'm going to take over. I know exactly what to do in this housing market, and you don't have to sell it. And there's going to be upside and there's going to be tax benefits, and I can help you secure those. Let's just first start with solving your problem, which is you're worried about making next month's payment, and that's why you're trying to sell it. Don't worry about making next month's payment. I will make next month's payment because I'm going to step in as your partner, and you're never going to have to worry about that again. Whew, all of this relief. Now, in the back of John's mind, John's like, I don't got money. Who's going to be making that payment? I'm like, Step one, tie up the deal, right? I promise you, where there's a good deal in this market to get seller financing on a deal, skipping the bank, avoiding realtor fees, and locking it up, the money will present. And if it doesn't, John, you literally go to the Facebook page and say, I got a deal, I think, but I need his payment's $1,200 a month. Like, I don't know what to do. I promise you 100 people are going to come to your rescue and say, hey, let's work something out on this, or you can wholesale it to me, or, we can do an exchange, or how about I give you the money and you cut me in on some of the profits. Does that make sense, John?
Yeah, Kris, that actually makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So just by talking, guys, the first thing you're trying to do is find houses with problems because you are the solution. Next, you're going to say, I need money. And trust me, if the deal is good, the money always presents. You've just got to speak up. That's why I'm saying bravery gets rewarded. Bravery is the most important skill here. It's not knowing what to do. It's not knowing what to say. It's just putting yourself out there. That's how deals come about. Now, after you do that 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden you'll be like, I have some systems and I know what to say, and I've seen this before and I've done this before, and my confidence is waxing. But John, at the same time, if you know that you're stuck, that's where this offer of working with my team and having an unlimited coach by phone that will walk you through it, strongly consider that. If you're like, hey, I just want to know for the next 50 or 20 times I can call someone and get all the help and hands-on that I need that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. John, super
Thank
good
you,
question,
Kris.
brother. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, man. I believe in you and I look forward. Dude, are you going to come out to the August event?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna try to come out to that.
Want to and try. That's what people do that fail. There's no want to, there's try. John, say, I'm going to make it happen.
I'm gonna make it happen.
Yes. And then when I see you, you're going to say, I'm John. I was the guy that said I was going to make it happen and I made it happen. This is the big, people are like, oh, this is about real estate. This is about deals. Dude, this is about manifest destiny. This is about claiming your peace. And John, this is yours. This is yours to claim. So jump in. The 4 days as a sacrifice, right? Like, am I going to get time off? Am I driving there? Am I flying? How am I getting there? Am I going to need a hotel? Don't allow that to stop any of you from coming to the event, because the harder it is to get there, the bigger the reward that you will get for coming, because sacrifice does get rewarded when things are hard. That's what I love. You give me an easy lift or a hard lift, I'll take the hard lift, because I know that I'll be the 1%er that'll show up, because it's about bravery. It's not about technical ability or skill. All right. Hey, John, thank you so much, brother. I do look forward to seeing you. I hope it is in August. And no more trying, just doing. Awesome, brother. All right. Another question.
All right. Next, we're going to bring up Thomas Washington II. Come on up, Thomas.
Oh, I like that name. Can we have Thomas Washington II present himself?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up?
Dude, talk to me. How are you?
I'm good.
All right.
Shoot, I'm kind of nervous right now just talking to you. So.
Nope. I
mean,
I put my pants on the same way, backward.
Yeah, I was just like I've been watching you for about a year now, and I just really wanted, at first I wanted to do social work, but ever since I started watching you, I just grew more interest in doing real estate, but I just never knew where to start. At first I paid for your lease option program, but just watching YouTube videos of others, they were saying it's not really a good way for newbies that's starting real estate and stuff. So it made me kind of nervous, maybe pull back out a little bit. But a month ago, I know. I know.
Thomas.
I know.
Go on. A month ago, share the story.
Yeah. A month ago, I heard about your Maverick program, and I was just watching videos on that, and I was just wanted to ask you, is that a good way to start real estate and stuff? Because I play football at NC State, and football is demands a lot of your time, so we really don't have time to work. But we receive monthly I'll receive monthly payments, because my dad, he was in the military, so I get paid every month, so thank God for that. But yeah.
I got you. So it's a really good question. First of all, I'm just admiring Jacob's beard. Jacob, that's a nice look you got there. Are you doing the Kris, or am I doing the Jacob? I think I'm doing the Jacob. But Thomas here, let me kind of fill you in. First of all, I need all of you to understand something. Whether you're young or old, but especially when you're young, when you do something to get outside of the box, all the crabs show up. Have you guys heard the analogy of two crabs in a bucket? One of them will never escape because the other won't let them. Just when they're about to get out, they'll pull them back in. And that's how humans are. I mean, Thomas, just to be really clear, when you're outside the box, there's a part of your brain that is saying, I have to find evidence that this is probably not the right choice. And if you look, you will find there's an opinion for everything that's out there. I made my first $1.6 million on lease option, and I started with nothing and know-how. So do I think that that is a really brilliant approach for a newbie to get started? 100%. Seller financing is one of the most powerful versions of real estate, most lucrative you'll ever find. But the Maverick program is the other second easiest form of real estate, because lease option is about the deal and Maverick is about people. And in real estate, when you know how to work deals and work people, then you know how to do everything in real estate. So the Maverick program, it's, whereas the lease option program is go look at houses, go look at houses, go look at houses and find a deal. The Maverick program is go talk to people, go message people. And when you find someone that says, I got money, I want real estate. Guys, real estate is the hottest thing. Everyone wants real estate right now, but they don't know how. And when you say, hey, my mentor's done $1 billion in real estate and he's got turnkey real estate and he's got deals right now. And they're like, oh my gosh, tell me about that. You send them my team and that's pretty easy. Some of you are going to say, hey, I don't really like the whole talk to human beings. I'm kind of shy. You get to go look at numbers and you get to crunch calculator numbers and be like, hey, that looks like we have a house over here. So, I mean, the point is they're both beautiful and I would recommend both of them equally to everybody because it's two powerful tools that are to graduate you to a point where you can do some facilitated stuff like what I do with people. So that's my final answer on it. My biggest advice for everyone is be careful who you listen to. If someone's got advice, just ask yourself first, are they a multimillionaire? If they're not a multimillionaire, then mentally I'm just like, shut your yapper. I don't take advice from peers. I don't take advice from people that aren't where I want to be. And so I just be aware of that. Thomas, really, really good question. And I think the last thing I'd say is you're busy in college with football. And I bet you if I interviewed Jacob and Diego and Mason and Michael and Colton and everyone else that's here, Trey, I bet you, Mike, I bet that 99% of them would say, I'm busy doing blank, fill in the blank. It's not football, it's blank. And so the whole attraction to real estate is that it's not a part-time job. I don't need 20 hours a week. I'll be rewarded more, but to do a deal, you need a handful of hours. So guys, no matter how busy your life is right now, just know that this is not really a function of measuring time because it's not a 9 to 5 and it's not a 9 to noon. Make time. And my advice earlier was just look at 3 deals a day. Pick up the phone, talk to 3 people a day. Just put yourself out there 3 times a day. You're going to find a deal because you're in the game. Thomas, thank you for your question. Really good.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a fancy dinner party at my house coming up in a little bit here, Ryan. I would like to do one more, but I would love to have our coaches. Guys, if you call in our hotline anytime, you're going to get a chance to talk with Angie and Graham and Ryan. They're superstars. They're going to stay on here and they're going to keep rocking out some questions. We're going to do this again, but they are here for you to answer all your questions. Let's do one more.
Great. We're going to bring up Aaron Carlsberg.
Aaron, go ahead and unmute yourself. All right. Aaron, how you doing?
Hey, Kris. I'm good. How are you?
Good, nice. Good. Where are you from right now?
I'm in San Diego, California.
Yeah, but your last name's German, Carlsberg.
It is, yeah. It's not the beer.
Carl's Mountain. So tell me, what's your question, man?
Yeah, so I see, a lot of the content that you make, you talk about making sure that you buy homes under the median so that when there is a correction, the homes that are at the median aren't going to have such a massive drop off in value, which makes a lot of sense. But then, thinking back to in California, San Diego, where real estate is ridiculously expensive here. And I totally appreciate that, you're in a position where you're traveling to the states and territories where it's the most optimal for you to buy the properties that you're searching for. But is it still worthwhile, I guess, to do this sort of buy and hold process in California, or is it better to flip here and then use that money to go buy properties in Tennessee or something like that? Or is it California?
Yeah. So first of all, it's a super good question, Aaron. It's a great question. So in just about no matter where you live in California, if you drive inland about an hour, you're going to see real estate become a lot more affordable. You know what I mean? So there are deals that you can do in real estate, but it's amazing. I'm using my laptop. This is the second time in 2 months I've opened my laptop because I do everything from this. I do all of my real estate from my phone. We are living in such a crazy virtual world. I think it is so important for us to get geographically unlocked in our perception of possibility. there are deals everywhere right now. So if you, it might be easier to do a deal further away than taking an hour-long drive to go look at something. But I'm just telling you, even in your area, yes, there are absolutely deals to do. A lot of people in California also love my Maverick program because they're like, I think that I'm living a more expensive part of the country, and I think I need to like play more of the people game, because look at the people around me. Some of these people have money. Like right now, like raise your hand if you have a house right now. You live in a house, a primary residence. Raise your hand if you do. If you have a primary residence, a house that you live in, chances are it has probably gone up 25, 50, 75, or $100,000 in the last 18 months. And guess what that means you have? It means that you have equity. And that means you can go to the bank. And if your equity is greater than 20%, the bank would actually give you some money as long as your credit is good. Money, we are more flush with money than we have been like in 50 years. The amount of money people have in savings, it's record high. So there's equity out there, there's 401ks out there, there's savings out there. So kind of two plays. Yes, you can still totally do real estate out there, but the other thing is, real estate is usually for me more of a people game than even a property game. And so any of you that feel like, oh, I'm struggling on the property side, go to the people side. If you struggle on the people side, go to the property side. Ultimately, you definitely need to have it as a goal to be able to work both those angles. But really great question. Thank you for asking that. And listen, friends, I'm going to make sure that my team chills and stays here to continue answering questions that you guys have. But I just want you to know that August 25th through 28th, that is my time with you. We are going to be starting earlier. We're going to be going late because we got literally what's going to feel like some magic to perform during those 4 days. I promise to get you more lit in your life, excited and jazzed about possibilities than ever before. Not because it's a rah-rah motivation thing, but it's because you're going to be so excited with the mental tools that I'm going to give you in conjunction with the technical real estate training. It's going to change the game for you. So I'm really pumped to have that experience. Just remember, those 600 seats are going to fill up really fast the moment we go live with that tomorrow. So we're going to grab a seat, grab one for you, grab one for your VIP guest. And just know, for those of you, I want to congratulate those that actually have upgraded to get a year's worth of unlimited coaching. Honestly, guys, that should charge $4,000 for that. I literally, you can imagine what I pay my coaches and my whole staff. It's a whole team of people. I want to make this as affordable as possible to get the help so you can move forward. So there's a couple of tools that we've also introduced tonight. You guys have been asking for such a long time. Apologize it took so long to make it available, but it's here now, and it's going to make the difference for you guys, because accountability always works. I think you guys know that. So love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging here with me a little bit. And then I'm just going to go ahead and have, I'm going to have Ryan continue doing an amazing job moderating with Angie and Graham. Let's keep rocking those questions.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Kris. I can just echo the comments that have been in the chat, and obviously speaking to the impact that UFD, Unleash Your Financial Destiny, can have on your mindset and setting you up for the success that you want to have. So we hope that we'll see you all there, especially since we've taken away one of the biggest obstacles in having to worry about tickets. So we're really excited about that. We're going to try to get through as many of the questions as we can through the next number of minutes that we have, the next 20 minutes or so. And in order to get through as many questions as possible, I've been pulling them out of the chat. We've had people that have texted in questions. We've had questions on our Facebook group. So I'm going to grab these questions. I've been notating them. I'm going to kick them over to Angie and Graham to chime in and try to give you some directions. If for whatever reason you have a question that we can't get to tonight, I hope that we can get to as many as possible. But if there are some that don't get answered, definitely send your question over to support@kriskrohn.com. Pop them in that Facebook group, and we'll keep working on them after this particular call. So I'm going to go ahead and start off some Q&A with some of our awesome questions that came in on our text line. So this first one is from Mark. He asks, how do beginners start doing deals out of state on their own?
Wonderful, wonderful question. So Mark, thank you for sending that question. We always appreciate it. So starting deals on your own, in state or out of state?
So how do beginners start doing deals out of state on their own?
Perfect. So what we have here at the Kris Krohn team, we have a large acquisition team that allows us to travel everywhere. So we make it seem really, really easy to do deals out of state. Typically, when you're going out of state, though, there's going to be less of a viewpoint that you're going to have that we will have. So, best thing that you're going to be doing is working with local agents in those areas. Easiest point of contact. Also working with property managers. If you have friends in other states and a place where you can stay potentially, if you want to go to Tennessee, if you have a friend or family there, you stay there for a weekend or a week, you go shop some homes with an agent or with a property manager, look at different places and what they're going to be offering you, see if you can get different breakdowns on the markets that are there, see if you can specify them down to specific locations and regions. So that way you're not looking across the whole state, because each city will have different price points, right? Some are more desirable than others. And working with a local agent, working with other groups in that specific area, they'll be able to give you more of a detailed format of what locations you're going to be wanting. So great question.
Yeah, I love that. If you don't mind, I'd love to add on that too, Graham.
Absolutely.
I think when you're just starting out too, it's a little challenging, right? I think if possible, depending on where you're at, start in your own backyard. You know the market a little bit better. You are aware of what's around you. So I would definitely start there as well. And then even do just like Graham said, they've got boots on the ground where you got the agents out of state and property management companies. I think that's perfect. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you very much. And Amy's Chromebook chimes in. Angie, you've been doing a great job with the Facebook group.
Thanks, Amy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the positive feedback means a lot.
Yeah.
All right, next question also came in from the text line for Narinder. He asked, so for the lease option program, I got 2 contracts. If I wanted to do a sandwich lease, how would I use the contracts to do that? Would I have the sellers sign both and then the buyers sign both? Or how do I customize it to fit my home's information?
Wonderful, wonderful. So there is a seller-specific form that you're going to be using, and then there's going to be a tenant-specific form that you're going to be filling out. It will specify who will be signing in those contracts. So if you go into the Mentor Vault and then you look at those contract forms, you'll be able to see who will be able to sign where.
Yep.
Awesome. Next came in from Martin. When you're looking to get a house under contract from a motivated seller, how does that seller benefit from the lease option deal? I know how I benefit and how the buyer will benefit, but how does my motivated seller in the deal win as well?
Yeah, wonderful. So it's the benefit for them ultimately is it's a hand-free service. It's going to be completely free to them. They don't need to worry about the home or the tenant. That's going to be all on you and the tenant. So those are the 2 main benefits, that it's hands-free and that it is also free. And then they will also be getting the funds total when they sell as well. And so you can also arrange it so that way they can get kickbacks, or you can break down the monthly amount on the rent. So there's definitely going to be different forms if you want to get creative with it, just to spice it up with them a little bit. You can say, hey, we'll split it 50-50 on the rent, or we'll split it 70-30, however you want to do it. And then ultimately you're going to be selling to them, or you're going to be buying from them, really the tenant's buying from them. And so they'll get the ultimate amount of equity out on the base of the sale.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it. Even like Kris said, it could save them from realtor fees. You never know what their circumstances are going to be. Are they going through divorce? Are they going to go through a short sale? You are coming in and being that problem solver. So, great question.
Yeah.
Awesome. Another question came in. I missed the name on this. I apologize. But how do I get in contact or find realtors to talk to and kind of mentor me?
Fantastic question. Super, super easy. Go into Google, type in realtors in my area or in any area that you're looking at, and it'll pull up a whole bunch of brokerages. And then you can also type in your MLS or Zillow. Zillow is also turning into a brokerage as well. So you can use Zillow as a resource. You can contact their agents. And if you say, hey, I'd like to get referred to an agent in X location, if they don't have an agent there, they'll refer you out to somebody else. So those are definitely some definitely easy resources for you.
Connected to that, we get the question a lot in our Facebook group. Maybe we can speak to this. When program buyers are going through their courses and they're watching the videos, when they get to the end, we get the question a lot like, what do I do now? Right? Like, I've finished the course. Where do I go from here? What's my first step? What would you recommend?
Yeah. First step, make your first calls. The only way you're going to get experience, this is coming from myself. I felt like when I first started, I needed to get my license to have experience. I learned very quickly that the only way you're going to get experience is by doing. And so the only way you're going to do it is by going out and trying to find your first deal. It doesn't matter if you fail a million times, right? You're trying to gain experience. So you're going to go out, you're going to type in into Zillow or into PropStream or whoever you're going to be using. You're going to modify it so it's for sale by owners if you want to do that, or if you're just looking at homes, just ask questions on them. You go for specific price ranges. You can go for $100,000, $50,000 up to $250,000, $300,000. If you want to stay under median. But it's just about getting out there and just doing the work, right? Asking and saying, how can I do it, is a good way to start. But once you get that answer, it's really about you pushing yourself, driving around, learning neighborhoods, seeing if there's for sale by owners out there, and then just making the calls and doing it.
100%. I think to add on to that, what Graham said, I think you guys have these tools. You've got all this basically being walked through, kind of a do-it-yourself with these programs in your mentor vault, but you're thinking of your why. Why are you doing this? You know, what are your goals? What is your ultimate goal that you want to reach? And now you're at the point where you figure out, now how am I going to get there? And now you've got the tools that you've learned with these programs, and now start figuring out from that first step. Like here's where I'm going to go from there to get there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Just a quick shout out to Christian's iPhone. Just got a great deal on for sale by owner. Just need one more deal to get out of the rat race.
Woohoo,
Congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
Love hearing that success.
Yeah.
A question came in from Rahul and Anita for the Maverick program. I'm going to read it out, but I'm gonna steal this one. Okay. I love the Maverick program. All right. The question came in, said, we're in your Maverick program. How do we make people trust us and not think we? All right, well, I didn't copy all of the end of that question. I apologize to both of you. But let me just talk for a quick moment on what I've found to be a great way to be able to talk to people about Kris's program and be able to connect with them on how to find the type of program that might work best for them. One of the easiest, I think, missteps that you can make as a maverick is feeling like you have to have all of the answers and you have to have the ability to make people trust you. Kris actually does most of the heavy lifting for telling people about his programs through his YouTube channel. So if I were thinking about how to approach potential referrals in the Maverick program, the first step for me, I think, would be connection. Really being able to find something that is similar between me and the person that I'm talking to. When people understand the connection that you have to them, they understand why it is that you even care. They're going to be much more receptive to be able to discuss goals that they have in life, right? Where they want to go, the things that they're interested in. If they're similar to you, and that's what your connection piece establishes, that similarity will make sense that the things I'm interested in, aka Kris Krohn, are going to be similar to the things that you're interested in because we are similar. So finding a way to be able to connect with people that you're referring to, and then being able from there to be able to recommend different YouTube videos or TikTok videos that Kris is recommending will allow Kris to basically do the heavy lifting on explaining the programs or explaining the value that they might find in it. So I would say focus on the connection piece, and then from there, let Kris do a bulk of the work, and then pivot, transfer over to our team. Sound good? Okay, great. Next question that I've got down here came in from Jesse Infante here in the Zoom chat. He says, my wife and I have a house for 5 years, and we're thinking about moving. Should I sell and use the profit to do a purchase on a lease option, or should I lease option my own house?
Yeah, awesome. So first question to that is, do you have enough funds to essentially rent it out and purchase a different home? If you have the funds to do so, why not do it? As long as it's not putting a strain on yourself or your family, you're creating another source of revenue by being able to lease option your own home. So ultimately, the goal is compassionate financing. So you want that person to buy the home over 5-6 year span. But if you're able to do so on both, or you're able to get the home, you're able to do lease option, I say definitely do it. It only creates more revenue, and it makes your life a little bit easier if you're able to afford it.
Yeah, it's definitely checking out that ROI on both situations. For me, I like to say, here's my options that I'm looking at and say, what's my ROI here? Or am I looking for more cash flow there? So, yeah, if you're going to end up cash flowing more by going to another home, doing a lease option on the home that you currently own, that's a great option, or is it going to be better to find another property, lease option that property while still staying in your place? That's really great.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Wade asked us in the chat as well here on the Zoom call, how do you compete with multiple cash offers?
You bring in more cash. No, but ultimately, I like to be very, very clear when it comes into beating people out. Typically, buyers right now or sellers right now are looking for highest and best bids on homes. It's going to be extremely difficult unless you know the person very, very well to beat out a cash buyer. There's very little ways you can get creative, right? I mean, you could say, I'll bring you cookies if you accept my offer. I'll mow your lawn. I'll do your laundry. You can do all of that, but ultimately, when it comes down to cash offers and trying to beat out someone, especially in this kind of competitive market, you'll have to get competitive as well, unfortunately. That's why we're looking for people who are FSBOs, for sale by owners, that don't have that kind of marketplace where they can reach multiple people just because they're selling either on Facebook Marketplace or they're selling in classifieds, or they're going to be selling on Zillow, where it's just not seen by as many people. That's where you're going to want to be looking for. You want to try to stay away from the high traffic homes.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, great. Let's see if we can pull up on the fly, if we still hear Jerry. I'm not sure how to say your last name. Chionsi?
Yeah, sorry.
There we go. Awesome. Jerry, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am doing amazing. Let's go ahead and hear your question.
Yeah, so obviously there's multiple ways to skin deals and, when you're looking at properties from a calculation standpoint, you can look at all these different kinds of numbers, cash and cash return, return on spend and whatnot. But what's the number one metric that you look at in order to deem a deal successful? Through properties and just looking at just single family homes and whatnot. But I just wanted to get some guidance regarding that because I've been looking at multiple deals on a daily basis and I feel like I have a good formula, but I just really wanted to see what's that one most important metric that you can really look at and use that as a guidance for checking the box to make sure it's a good deal.
Wonderful, Jerry. Yeah, thanks for the question. Biggest thing that I like to look at is going to be your ROI, right? Your return on investment. That's kind of how I see my leading guiding points. Is if the home is going to have a solid 20 to 25 ROI, then typically you're going to want to be looking there. The way that we find it is cash on cash is nice, right? It's a good way to marginalize the month-to-month returns. But ultimately, you're going to be looking a little bit more long-term or at least mid-term, about year-to-year returns. And you'll be able to find that by finding your prorations on your deductions. You're going to be seeing that on your cash-on-cash monthly returns. You're also going to be seeing that on the equity growth that you're going to be getting from your home each year. So definitely concentrate more on the ROI because that's just going to lead you to a higher end return. If you were looking at an ROI for a 5-year span compared to month, you're going to see a higher growth in percentage, and it keeps it a little bit more obtainable for people. It keeps it a little bit more of a long-term goal. So definitely be looking for that first thing.
Okay. Awesome. Next, we're gonna pull up Leonard. Come on down. What's your question, Leonard?
Hey guys, how you doing? Good to finally connect with you.
Hey, Leonard. Good to
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. So my question is geared towards the lease sandwich options. I'm located in Vancouver, BC, Canada, where home prices are like through the roof. Let's say average home price starts at $1.4 million. So it's really, really hard to find a motivated seller, or even if you find a deal that's off the market, there's like already 5 to 10 offers on the house, and people are offering like 30 to 50K over the asking price, especially now in this market. So I'm just trying to figure out, is there maybe another way so I could start buying outside of my province, maybe remotely, or trying to do those lease options. But right now it's kind of overwhelming with all the home prices in here, so I don't really know where to start.
Yeah, yeah, great question. Great question. So even in high traffic markets, right, like Vancouver, there are going to be neighborhoods that are going to be less desirable, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So first thing you're going to do is you can take the really old school method that real estate agents used to have, where they would go to areas that are a little bit more impoverished, maybe a little bit more broken down, and they'll go door knocking. Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll just start hitting those doors, and maybe they'll get 100 no's, but then maybe they get 1 or 2 yeses. And those 1 or 2 yeses is really what you're going to be looking at. It'll become a numbers game when you get into high traffic markets like that, where if you were to compare it to Arkansas here in the U.S., where the average home price is about 200,000, right? 190 maybe. It's a little bit easier to find those people. Or if you were to compare it to California, where average home prices are jumping to the 600,000-700,000 and slowly raising their way up. They're one of the most expensive markets in the U.S. That's also kind of where you find it, the same similarities with Vancouver, where you're going to try to find less desirable areas. But if you can do that, if you're able to put in maybe 2-3 hours a night, you're just knocking doors, you maybe offer to do their lawn or something, and you try to build a rapport with them, right, somehow. And typically that's a better way. If people start learning your names in the neighborhood, they start talking about you more. Maybe someone that wants to sell says, hey, I heard this guy that's been talked about in my neighborhood. My friend's been talking about him. Maybe he might be worth looking into. Maybe I just want to rent out my home for a while. I don't want to sell. Maybe I want to work with him. So that's definitely one way to start.
Yeah, that makes sense. I probably have to gear myself more towards trying to find a partner and do a home flip, because my skills are in that area. I actually started a contracting business just a year ago. And
that's great.
I moved to Canada actually 5 years ago from Croatia and Europe. So I'm still kind of all new to starting and have a lot of expenses going on. But if I could find a partner that can be either 50-50 or just a hard money lender, and I can do all the work of renovating the property and we can split profits, I don't even mind if I get only 30%, 40. I just need to get my foot through the door. So I probably have to look more in that direction. Probably would be a bit easier than trying to do a lease option here in this market.
Yeah. So
just
a quick PSA for everyone. Leonard is looking for a partner. So if you guys are looking for a partner, go ahead, message him on the Facebook group and start working with him. If you're in Canada, Vancouver area, and you're thinking of doing some big deals, definitely work with him. He's the guy you want to work with.
I got all the trades. Everything's going to be taken care of regarding the build and design and materials. We just need the capital to do the flip.
I love it. I love hearing what you're saying, though, Leonard. You're definitely thinking this through and coming up with solutions to make it happen. You're going to do it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna pull one last lucky participant up into the chat here for Graham and Angie. Let's bring on Lori. All right, Lori, go ahead and unmute. What's your question? All right, let's go ahead and we'll pivot off here. We'll let Dave Sidoti kick us off for the last question of the night. Can you unmute, Dave? What's your question? I think they're more nervous than we are being on camera. All right, let's go ahead. Well, it's 7:29. We'll go ahead and just wrap it up. For all of you whose questions we missed or we didn't get to for tonight, please drop them in that Facebook group. As you know, we've been taking questions there, working to get to the bottom of the next steps in your game plan. Also, if you're not in that Facebook group, feel free to shoot them over to support@kriskrohn.com, and we'll take a look at them there, make sure to be able to connect. But thank you so much for joining, taking time out of your life to be able to connect with ours. Really an amazing opportunity that we have in working with Kris and trying to help find value and point people in their next steps and working on their game plans. Thank you so much. Reach out to us there if you have anything else. But again, thanks for joining. We'll talk to you in the next one.